What's up, everybody? Welcome back to your favorite podcast, Base Hits and Banter. I am one of your hosts, Sam Fischer, here with my dear friend.
Halo.
Full name, Halo. That's Halo.
Full legal name. It's on my passport. Got stamped in Japan.
Yeah, it's just because she's an angel and we just, she's walking on earth with us.
Me.
What's up, Halo? I'm so happy to
Man.
be here with you.
Man, I am thrilled to be here with you. I come to you on this Monday very thrilled
Very thrilled.
because Alabama softball scored 1 run all weekend. On Sunday at home, last home regular season game of the year, in a big upset against Tennessee. And yeah, just thinking I don't know, have you ever heard of anyone scoring 1 run an entire weekend and winning a game? That's amazing.
That's the thing, is they won a game with that one little run.
With the 1 run, and it was an infield single. It was a slap. It was a triple down the line. Shout out Kinley Cahalan. And then it was an infield slap single by Kristen White.
It's just so silly.
Incredible.
Yeah.
Incredible. Alabama, we know Alabama's offense has struggled this year. I think I mentioned this on Rally Cap too. In total, Alabama has 280 hits on the season, I believe.
Okay.
Just to put it in perspective, Florida has 450.
Yeah.
So not a lot of people are getting on base. Alabama's offense has struggled. 2 for 23 with runners on base in that series against Tennessee. But again, I want to say, I think we've talked about it so much, but Carlin Pickens and Peyton Gottschall are unbelievable.
They are no joke.
They're unbelievable. I want an at bat so bad off of both of them.
Yeah, I want to see it.
They can do so many different things, so many different ways. But it was a pleasure to watch. And I got to give a shout out to Coach Murphy and the Rhodes House. They accumulated over 100,000 fans this season at Rhodes.
Oh God, that's amazing.
So, yeah, go softball, go women's sports.
Roll Tide.
But also Roll Tide. Yeah, that was a big win for
Roll Tide in their cute little run. Their 1 run.
Yes, their 1 run, and hopefully we can score many, many more because we head to Auburn to close out the regular season.
They're saving it up.
Gonna crush Auburn, hopefully rule them 3 times, and then make a little run in the SEC tournament and hopefully host a regional. So there we go. RTR.
All right, so it's looking bright for Alabama. Go get them, girls. I honestly, this weekend was so weird thinking that it was the last time Arizona and UCLA face off in the pack. And they, you know what? They did it up real good. They had that was a great weekend of softball, of 2 legendary historic programs.
All the things.
Yeah, they're both historic and historical.
Yeah.
Big shout out to a friend of the program, Charlize Palacios. On senior day, last at bat, hits a game tying grand slam
against her former team, nonetheless.
Could you write it better than that? No, you cannot.
No, you can't. No, it simply can't. It sent me. She sent the ball into orbit. She sent me into orbit.
Oh yeah.
Watching that replay, seeing how everyone on UCLA's bench was so excited for her, that was just picturesque.
That's a story written by the heavens.
Correct.
Oh gosh, so we love to see it. They did great.
We do. And I am a little disappointed in the fact that not one of those games was nationally televised.
Listen, if we
on a major network. They had one on Pac-12 network, right?
Yes. If we're going to talk a little disappointed, we need a longer podcast.
Yeah. I just feel like that was a missed opportunity for somebody out there, but
I've not once in our 10 years of friendship have disagreed with you.
Yeah. So I just wanted to throw that out there.
Spitting facts.
But one game that was on national television was that Florida-Georgia game on Sunday.
What a series.
Holy chaos. And you know what it reminded me of?
Hit me.
Do you remember the 2016 Super Regional? All my Florida Gator friends are going to hate me for bringing this up.
Uh-oh.
The 2016 Super Regional, when Georgia upset them 16-1, Moose sent that ball straight away to dead center field, right over Christy Merritt's glove, right over her head. Yeah. And it was that was the last time I remember being like, oh my God. Like, oh my God. Like, what's happening? Softball
Yeah.
chaos. What's going on?
Yep.
And then I had that exact feeling when Jocelyn Erickson hit a 3-run bomb.
Unreal. What a
Down by
good
one.
parallel.
Down
Good
by one.
parallel. Oh,
Same teams, just in
yep.
Georgia rather than Gainesville, right?
Yep.
Sends like down to your last strike.
Oh,
You take the lead, and then they go on to score 7 runs in the inning.
they broke the seal, man. They're just like,
That,
oh, okay.
unbelievable. Like, what a fun series to watch. That was awesome. Florida's offense has been insane all year, but
Oh,
definitely.
yeah. And that's, that's a series that could have gone either way. I mean, Florida took 2 out of 3, but it very well could have gone the other way. And I think that's I think what we're seeing in softball right now. Like, even though we still have like Texas and Oklahoma, they're still doing their thing with the sweep
Yeah.
in. They're still out there doing those things. But like it's been anybody's game. We talk about Washington every single week not sweeping on
We
the
do.
third day, and that's happening across the board where teams are just out there battling it out. You don't really know who's going to win until the game's over.
Right.
Except
I
for
think
yeah.
yeah, right. But I think
Yeah.
I think this year is just setting up to be like a really good NCAA tournament. I think
Truly.
conference tournaments are going to be super duper competitive,
Mhm.
but the NCAA tournament I'm so interested to see because the parity has been so big,
Mhm.
like across the board.
Yeah.
What are those national seeds going to look like?
I I think
I
that there's like no right or wrong answer to me. I feel like I won't be
no.
surprised when we watch a selection show. Like I won't be surprised who hosts and who doesn't, and who's placed where. And it's just one of those years where it's a little less obvious, which I think kind of shows the growth of the sport across the nation, not just in this conference or that, just
Yes,
across the entire board.
yes, 1000%. And you're seeing a ton of more, like mid majors get love too. There are a
Yeah,
lot
the
of mid majors that
babies.
could potentially like sneak up and potentially host a regional. Like I'm thinking about
Totally.
Louisiana, right? Like
Hmm.
handily beat LSU just last week,
Yes.
right? In
Yes.
Louisiana.
Yes.
So, I mean, like a dangerous team, but do they host over somebody like a Washington, who again
Right.
we've talked about all year?
Right.
But like RPI and KPI aren't quite there. Do they host over in Alabama, who's never not hosted
Right.
a regional? Like there are just so many good storylines that we're about to get. So
Yeah.
it's
It's gonna be
postseason
fun.
softball is on its way.
It's gonna be fun. That's for sure. Can
So
we
exciting.
really quickly talk about Florida State's mercy of Florida,
We
where
we absolutely can
they
talk
scored
about
12
that.
runs in the game, folks, but all of those runs came in one inning.
Correct. Sometimes all it takes is one. And I
Yeah.
know East Coast K Dog is going to be really happy that we're mentioning this, but Florida State's a team that we talked a lot about early on in the year because of how
Yeah.
bad they were struggling,
Yeah.
and they have really turned things around. Like
Mm-hmm.
they're at the top of the ACC,
Mm-hmm.
still have a chance to win the regular season title and potentially the tournament.
Yeah.
Pitching staff looks a lot more confident.
Yeah.
Offense has always been there. I just look out.
Watch out.
Just look out for Florida State. Okay?
Anything can happen right now, man.
But for them to do that was in Gainesville, by the way,
Yes.
too. Like, amazing,
12,
amazing.
12 runs.
Go Knowles. It was we had a good time in our house watching it. So
Yeah. I can say, listen, let me tell you something. I lost in college a lot. I had a lot of short games,
go
5
Lions.
innings. There was not a single time that somebody scored 12 runs against us in one inning.
It's
Like that is in like an insane, like I can't,
insane.
I sat staring at the wall. I was like, what happened?
Yeah. No,
That's
and it wasn't like
dreadful.
Florida was making all these errors and
No,
playing like poorly. They were just
they scored,
demolishing the softball.
kept scoring.
Kept scoring.
Man. Wow. God, I love talking shop with you, man.
Go Knowles.
We also, you guys are in for a treat. This week's episode it's just us. We decided we're like, you know what? We're just gonna hang out. We're gonna banter back and forth. And
This is us.
yeah, this is us.
This is what we're built to do.
we really were built for this, but you know, looking at us, we look really good in our USA softball gear. We want to thank,
Wait.
you know, USAsoftballstore.com. Oh, look how good Halo looks. That's beautiful. Go Nike. Go USA, go Nike, go Halo, and go Banter. But if you guys want to look just as cool as us, you can go to USAsoftballstore.com for your gear. You can use code BHB15 and get 15% off your entire purchase and look just like us fashionistas do. So
Yeah, we are.
don't forget about that.
Fashionistas. Yes.
We really are.
Come get, come get all the cool
Let's,
stuff.
speaking of fashionistas, you want to talk about mental health?
Yeah, that's a perfect transition, actually. You took the words right out of my mouth. So for this week's Banty Balance.
So beautiful.
I just love that segment name. We wanted to talk about really finding your mental zone and being able to hit and be competitive through the struggle of a slump. So, Sam, I would really enjoy your take on this because I think that obviously our mental state just has a ton of effect on how we step into the box
Yeah,
and how we play. I would just love your thoughts on
I'm here for it.
hitting through it.
Hitting through it. Yeah, first of all, swing as hard as you can. No, I'm just kidding. Um, the first instinct that anybody, coach, player, parent is going to have is there's something wrong with her swing. And I will tell you
Mm,
folks, there is not. Most of the time, there is not. I will never, ever in my life forget this. I was a junior in high school. We were playing in a tournament. So it was like the first game, I was 0 for 4 in the first game of the tournament. And back in the day, we had our travel team, we had what we called the shop. It was our batting cage that we went and like our coach owned it. We
I
went
love
and we hit.
that.
It was the best, right? So Friday night, my coach was like, we need to get her in the shop because I was 0 for 4. I didn't have a good. The rest of the weekend, I was 13 for 17.
Yeet.
Yeah, so like subtle brag, but if I would have started to change something because Friday night didn't go well, then that 13 for 17, does that happen? It might not because it's like, you know what? Sometimes there's just bad days. So I think if there's anything anybody could take away from my experience or my journey is like it doesn't always mean that if you're not hitting, it doesn't always mean that there's something wrong with your swing. It could be your pitch selection. It very well could be your timing. Like
Mhm.
if you're, you know, if your timing is off, your swing feels bad. But
Right.
it's not because your swing is bad. It's because
Right.
you weren't on time.
Right.
And that is something that I feel so strongly about where do slumps happen? Absolutely. Like we don't really like saying the slump word, but are there times where you might have a streak where you're not getting as many hits as you probably should for the caliber hitter that you are? Yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
But I firmly believe, especially when you get to a certain point, that you are the hitter that you are and you just got to keep believing that you're the hitter that you are, whether you have the results or not, you know,
100%.
because then you could go
100%.
out there and like nub 3 balls and all of a sudden you got 3 base hits and you're like, it was actually terrible, but here I am standing on first base.
And to your point, like, that doesn't like, at least for me, like, that doesn't feel good. Like, when I get a
Yes.
jam job single that, like, bloops over the shortstop's head, I'm like, "Well, crap. I'm happy to be on
Yeah,
first, but, like, I really wanted to barrel up the ball," you know?
literally. I got
But,
a
like,
hit. Last year I got a hit that bounced right over the pitcher's
remember that?
head. Yeah, and I get to first base. I'm like, oh my god, I'm so happy to be here, but I hope no one was watching that.
Slapper Nation. Sammy
But
the
yeah,
Slapper.
what do you think, Halo? What's your
I
perspective?
I agree with you. Like, I think people just need to understand that the only consistent thing about this game is that it's inconsistent.
Oh,
And so, like, to your point, you could square up many a ball and be
many.
out.
Bye
You
bye.
can jam job many a ball and be safe. And like
Mm-hmm.
the numbers don't necessarily tell the entire story. Like,
Yeah.
I love data, I love analytics, like, I even sent you some stuff earlier today
Yeah.
looking at, like, a bunch of different, like, pitching numbers and,
Yeah.
like, I love that stuff, but at the same time, I'm also a big component like, a big component for me is, like, I don't want paralysis by analysis
Ugh.
either. Like, I don't wanna get lost in the sauce of numbers and data, like, how I feel in my swing and how confident I am in my swing is priority 1, and I think it's
Yes.
just important to keep that perspective of and parents have so much more access to data and numbers
Yeah.
now than they did when we were growing up. I'm thinking the Game Changer, I'm thinking,
Yep.
like, all of the different tech that's made it down to youth sports, and I think there's 2 sides to that coin. It's probably a blessing and a curse,
Right.
but parents, I think, have to remember that they're setting the example for their kid. So if you don't want your kid to be obsessed with stats, you can't be obsessed with stats. If you
Yeah.
don't want your kid to overanalyze their swing every time they step in the box, you can't overanalyze their swing every time they step into the box.
Wow.
Like, it's all about feel, it's all about confidence, and so one thing I constantly do is I track my quality at bats,
Yeah.
and over time, that adds up to, like, real success on the field, whether it's batting average, home runs, extra base hits, slug, like, whatever OPS, whatever you wanna look at. But, like, I'm very clear about how I define a quality at bat.
Mhm.
It's do I work myself to a full count? Did I hit the ball hard? Did I foul off X amount of pitches? Do I feel like I was on time? Like, was my pitch
Mhm.
selection great? Like, what was my, like, chase rate?
Mhm.
Like, if you consistently put together quality at bats, where you stick to your plan, you stick to your approach, over time, that is going to add up, and you're going to find success. But don't get lost in the sauce. Like, just step in the box and be confident. And to your point too, like, you weren't when you went in the shop, you weren't fixing your mechanics, you were just getting reps. Correct me
Yep.
if I'm wrong there.
Correct. Yeah.
It's like reps, just uncoached reps
Yep.
matter.
Uncoached reps. That is huge.
Save uncoached reps. Bring them
Oh.
back. Let them live
Oh.
at the front.
You
Like,
know what I would love to add because you nailed it. Uncoached reps, I think, is so underrated. And I think people maybe get a little fearful of like losing some sort of control over a player or over an outcome.
yes.
But you're
Mhm.
talking about feel, and
Mhm.
a player cannot maintain success if they cannot feel what makes them successful, and they
Woo!
cannot fix something if they don't know what it feels like when they're not doing it correctly. Like, you have to feel it to fix it, but you also have to feel it to maintain that success, to know what you're doing.
Yeah.
So when I'm in the cage and I've pulled a few balls, I need to be able to sit there and say, "Sam, like, your front side is flying out. I can feel it. So now I can fix it." And then the
Mm,
next rep's up the middle. And I think, like you're saying, like the over analytical going too much into it takes away that feel
mm,
of hey, what did I do to keep hitting the ball there? What do I need to
mm.
do to hit the ball there? You know what I mean?
I know exactly what you mean. The uncoached rep empowers the athlete to coach themselves.
And who's in the box? It is the athlete. Pitch to
Boom.
pitch. If I
Boom.
oh, I remember a game we played. It was actually at the University of Michigan. Hello,
Go
friend of the program, Amanda Chittister,
go blue.
Carol Hutchins, my girl. Um,
We gotta have
we're
Hutch on.
100%
We gotta
I have her
have
phone
Hutch.
number. So
Wow,
we I
you're
was
so cool.
I was I was with the Racers and we were playing the Pride there, and Chelsea Thomas was pitching. She was so
Ouch.
good.
She is so good.
My first at bat, she threw me a backdoor curve. I grounded out to the third baseman, and I was like, "Dang it!" Next at bat, I knew what I did in the previous at bat to ground that pitch out, and I knew she got me to ground out the first time. Where do you think she's going to come this time? I hit a home
Right.
run over the left field fence, and that is like that's it, because that player, and nobody told me, "Hey, Sam, here's what you need to do differently." It was, I felt it. I knew how to fix it because I could feel it in the first place. And then
Mm,
she threw me the same pitch and I
mm,
made the adjustment. So, like, these athletes need to be able to do that themselves so that they then take themselves in the box
mm.
and do it themselves. So, I'm very
Period.
passionate about this topic, obviously.
No, for sure, and we could go even farther into this because I
Yeah,
think that this is a big part of the discussion of athletes transitioning from college to international ball and to pro softball as
very
well.
true. Very
Of
true.
just knowing exactly what your process is, because 'cause you've been
Yeah.
in a pressure cooker for 4 years of this
Yeah.
is the way that our program or whoever does things, and it's
Yeah.
similar when you make the jump from high school to college too.
Yes.
Like, this is what you've been doing, and now you can't do this anymore, so what do you
Mhm.
do?
Mhm.
And if you don't
Ah,
know what you're doing, that can be a very difficult transitional process, so
it's so
it's
true.
man, coach yourselves, learn how to coach yourselves.
Yes, and that
It's
doesn't
also
necessarily.
fun,
Yeah, like getting there, God, the conversations that we have in the cage, man, they're
dude.
so fun and so just like just chock full of knowledge, and
Mhm.
how do we get that knowledge? Along the way,
Right.
making these adjustments, learning all these things. But at the same time, this doesn't mean you're an uncoachable person if you feel like you can coach yourself.
Thank you for making that point.
Yeah, I feel very strongly about my swing. I always have. I've
Mhm.
dedicated my life to my swing. So when someone gives me a piece of advice, I'll chew on it. If it doesn't sit right, I move on. That doesn't mean I'm uncoachable. That means that I know what's best and what I can
Yes.
fit into my repertoire.
Yes.
And
Open-minded and uncoachable are 2 very different things.
100%. Yeah. So this is in no way saying don't listen to your coaches. It's a way of, hey, listen to your coaches, hear what they're saying, but trust yourself and have
Yes.
have that feel.
1,000,000%.
Man.
Respectfully.
Ah,
That's so good.
I
Wow.
feel like good thing we got exciting things to talk about because this how do we go from here, because
How
this
do
is
we?
like such an important conversation.
It is. It really is.
But
We could
to
probably do, like,
transition,
10 more. Yeah, to seamlessly transition into, the HPP and national team news. Um, I'm just gonna go for it here.
do it.
Athletes from Dallas will receive their evaluation results this week, as well as the top athletes receiving invites to the national selection event being held this December at the Jackie Robinson Training Center in Vero Beach, Florida, which is it just happens to be like 20 minutes up the road from me. I just wanted to throw that in there that the Jackie Robinson Training Center
Love
is
it.
beautiful if you have not been there. It's absolutely incredible. And this selection event is going to be awesome. Upcoming May events we have are, just the casual Honolulu, Hawaii on May 11th and Houston, Texas on May 19th. Me personally, I would much rather go to Hawaii, but if you're in Houston, it's probably just easier for you to go to that one. But
No, I guess
you,
so.
yeah, you can visit hpp.usasoftball.com for more information and a list of other identifiers. In
Beautiful.
other exciting Team USA news, that's going to be announced this week. Sam, do you want to tell the people?
Listen, the top 25 player to watch list comes out for player of the year. All right. We don't have the list, but we
We do
wanted to
not.
talk about maybe some like who we think might be on that list.
Yes, and maybe shed a light on players you probably should know
They,
that are
love.
putting up gaudy numbers.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's what we're here for. That's why we don't have a guest this week because we're here to talk about these players. Like, listen, give them their moment. And
Yes,
who we think like and here's the thing, we could think one thing and it could go the other way. This is in no way a reflection one way
yeah,
or the other of what these players are doing if they do end up on this
correct,
list or not. So,
correct. We don't
um,
have a vote.
no, we don't.
I don't know who to
We,
talk to get us one, but we don't have one.
we just have to, I think, retroactively go back and become player of the year.
Is that it?
I think that's all we have to do.
Well, Sam, you were never given the opportunity to, despite hitting over 500.
Listen,
So
listen, folks.
I just have I mean, we have that bone to pick.
When I tell you I can hold on to things like it's my job,
It's
I've
here.
never looked forward to a top 25 like I was that week in May when I was a senior, hitting over 500 with literally 20 home runs. Your
Not
girl
named
didn't
to the
make the
list.
list. So I'm over it. It was 12 years ago. I'm not over it. I mean, I am. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not.
I no, you shouldn't be. I wouldn't be. I wouldn't be.
But let's talk about these kids who aren't living their life in bitterness. Um
They might be if they don't get named to the list.
That's true. Girls, if you don't make it, you know where to find me. Auntie Samu is here for you.
And I'm sorry, I don't know if anyone else can we do this? Is there anyone else that was on the top 25 player of the year watch list in 2012 that's still actively a professional player? Or is that just Samu?
I think we all know the answer.
Okay. That's what I thought.
It was a star-studded list, but
Oh no, that senior class was insane.
yeah, it was pretty awesome. But yeah, I think I'm the one I'm still playing and not on the list. So I guess if you could have one or the other, I wish I had
Pretty cool.
both. Anyway, CC Wong, Wichita State.
Yeah, give some we're starting out with mid-major love and go Shockers.
Let's just talk about this 455 batting average that she's sporting.
Casual.
And 13 home runs to go with it. She's got an 851 slugging percentage right now.
Yeah. Batting average against the top 25 for CC Wong too is 419. So let's just not get this let's not get this in our head where it's just like, oh, she's hitting 455. Well, she's at Wichita State. No, against top 25 teams, hitting 419.
Yeah, insane. That is. Let me tell you something about being a mid-major player. When you're not facing top 25 teams consistently, it is challenging to face a top 25 team. Not to take away from the top 25 teams that are playing against each other all the time. Cause yeah, like playing in the SEC or the RIP, the pack, like facing that competition all the time. Oh my God, a different kind of challenging, exhausting. But not facing it and then facing it once and then not facing it, it makes it like it's that much harder to face that competition. So the fact that she's putting up over 400 on her batting average against those teams is very impressive to me, in my opinion.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. Agree with you. No, go ahead.
Oh, I was going to talk about another kid.
I was going to talk about another kid, but it's not a mid-major kid.
Oh, okay. We can go back and forth because that one was going to be a mid-major kid.
It is someone that you might not know though.
Hit me.
And that's Jasani Beecham from Florida State.
Yeah.
This freshman. Have you, first of all, she looks like when she steps in the box, she looks like a Major League Baseball player.
Yes, I love that.
Like her approach, like her stance, like the way she carries herself, like literally looks like she could be starting for the Atlanta Braves. Okay.
I love that.
And she again, a freshman.
Yeah.
447.
Impressive.
10 doubles, 14 home runs, 59 RBIs, crazy. 122 total bases, slugging over 800 as a freshman, hitting in either the 2 or 3 hole, depending on where Florida State decides to have her. She's broken she just broke Sydney Sherrill's freshman RBI record.
Crazy.
Like, she is unbelievable.
I love
unbelievable.
that.
And Michaela Edenfield gets a lot of attention at Florida State, rightfully so, because she will literally hit the ball to Mars every now and again. But like when you are playing Florida State, if you don't circle Beecham as like a must get out, like you're missing something. That kid is talented. She is going to have a heck of a career. Yeah. Hopefully she stays at Florida State. But it's like my Lord. Are you kidding
Very
me?
impressive. A freshman putting
so
up that
impressive.
Like it's honestly the RBIs part, 59 RBIs as a freshman.
You know how hard that is to do?
I had 59 RBIs as a senior.
I don't think I ever had 59 RBIs.
As a leadoff hitter, it makes it kind of challenging.
I mean, like
that is
for you to come up clutch for your team. Like RBIs to me are a clutch stat, right? Like
100%. It's a great
stat. Step into the box and get runners around the bases and to do it as a freshman. She's a homegrown talent. She's from Tallahassee. Like, just really just awesome. I
just love this. I love this conversation already.
Will a freshman win National Player of the Year? I don't know, but people need to pay attention to her.
Yeah. Yes. 100%. Get her on the radar.
Yeah.
And I was going to bring up Carly Spade, who plays at Miami of Ohio. Yes. And she hit her 96th home run to pass the former home run queen Lauren Chamberlain on the career list.
That's, it's casual.
96. And something that I feel about like what you said, about like the top 25 numbers versus overall numbers and stuff, putting the ball out of the park 96 times is
Hard to do.
unbelievable.
Yeah.
I don't care who you're playing.
Yeah.
Like
100%. I don't think I've done that in my career.
Total.
Total. Like my
96 home
10-year
runs.
pro career, I don't think I've done that.
No, that is honestly
That's so hard.
insane. It's crazy. She's got 27 home runs on the season right now.
Has there ever been a college softball player that hit 30 home runs in a season?
Yes. The highest was 37.
Who did that?
Laura Espinoza, Arizona.
Love that. Go Cats.
I hope I'm not wrong. I feel like I'm correct, but she hit 37. Lauren Chamberlain had a couple of 30 seasons. But yeah, there's been over 30. But that is it's not a lot of times does that happen.
No, yeah. 30 is like I feel like I hardly ever hear that.
Yeah. I'm gonna do a Google.
Do a quick do a quick Google live on the pod. While you're pulling up that, I want to shout out her teammate too. Jenna, I'm gonna butcher this last name, and I'm so sorry to you, Jenna Golombuski. I hope I said that right.
That was how I would have said it.
I'm not quite 100% sure, but she also has 25 home runs on the year.
They are swinging the bat, man.
She's hitting 500 against top 25 teams. Slugging over 1,000. As if that's like normal. I know, right? Like, what do they feed kids in Miami, Ohio?
I know. They swing it. And it's not like they just run into the ball. It's not like they're batting 200 and all their hits are home runs. Like they're just smashing.
Exit velos are through the roof.
Unbelievable. But yes, I did. I was correct. Laura Espinoza, she hit 37 home runs.
Is that the record?
85 in her career. That is a single season record. NCAA is 37. Okay.
Somebody get the 40, darn it.
Yeah, you're right there.
Somebody drop a 40 piece. I would love to see that.
Could you imagine? My God. You got kind of like, I hate to say the obvious players, but at the end of the day, there's players that are just stars in this season, right? Like you've got your Maya Brady, you've got your players like your Jada Coleman. You've got these players that are just so consistent. Tiari Jennings, like out there,
Mia Scott, Reese Atwood.
Yes, that are just out there doing it. And again, these are all, we're talking hitters, but we can bring up pitching and we could talk about friend of the program, Nyjah Kennedy.
Friend of the program. Her ERA is 0.51. Are you joking?
I like I wish it was 0.52, but I'm happy that it's lower.
We are happy it's lower.
But that's a full, like the next lowest ERA is twice that for Peyton Gottschall at 1.03 ERA, which is still so low. But Nyjah Kennedy's ERA is 0.51. It's literally half. It's how many runs do you give up? Half.
Yeah. Do you know how many total earned runs she's given up on the year, Sam?
I tell the people.
10.
Nyjah,
what are you doing?
And that's
10.
Listen, kids, that's not
total.
That's not in like no innings. That is in 138 innings pitched. She has given up 10 earned runs. And in those 138 innings, she's only walked 19 people.
She's coming right at you.
That's basically zero. For a rise ball pitcher, she is getting people to bite.
I was just going to say that. The command that she has of the zone for someone that throws as hard as she does with as much movement as she does.
Unbelievable. Yeah.
Because
rise ball pitchers don't always get the swing, and they don't always throw to the zone because they can get players, to swing out of the zone.
Right.
She's doing it all. She's doing it all, and people are swinging and they are missing.
Yeah.
And yeah, we got to talk though, like Peyton Gottschall and I'm just stuttering. Pickens back to back 1.03 ERA for Gottschall, 1.05 for Pickens. Like Tennessee, man,
I think, yeah, those two,
Double aces?
I can't stop talking about them.
No, absolutely not.
I can't, because it's like what they're doing is unbelievable, and we always talk about like one ace pitcher
Yeah, right.
from a big time major program. Like you
Yeah,
very clearly have, even in like, I think when Lexi Kilfoyle was at Alabama, like Montana was still the ace, right?
yeah. Mhm.
Like even when you have two big time pitchers like that, it's still 1-2, and it's very
Yep.
clear.
Yeah.
Tennessee legitimately has two aces, and it's like it
It's
is legit,
yeah.
legit two aces. And I think I don't know that this has happened ever in the history of the SEC, but can you imagine? And I think this actually might happen. Co-pitchers of the year from the same school.
That would make so much sense and be so cool.
So cool, right?
So cool. Yeah, because there's no like break. And not to say that any of these
Oh,
programs have a break, but like you have a series Friday through Sunday where you see your ace on Friday, your ace on Sunday, and then maybe like a staff on Saturday. That to me
mhm,
might be a little bit of a break, even if it's a strong
yes.
staff.
Mhm.
There's no breathing against Tennessee.
No,
There's no
it's
breathing.
suffocating, honestly.
Yeah, well
And
said.
to your point as a hitter, like when we're preparing for an Ace Friday Sunday, you're gonna see multiple speeds and, typically speaking, multiple moving pitches.
Mhm.
On Saturday, it's maybe one really good
Mhm.
pitch and two
Yeah.
s- two speeds max. Maybe she's got a
Yeah.
change up, but she's not gonna be as consistent as your Friday Sunday.
Right.
That's not the case
No.
at all.
No. No,
At
it's not.
all with
Good
these
for
2.
them.
It's honest, like, and you could tell when when they're being interviewed, when like, because everyone's talking about them, right? They seem like they're so happy for each other all the
Yeah.
time too, and I feel like as a pitcher, that's kind of a hard thing because
Totally.
all these kids are everybody's an ace coming into college,
Yep.
right? And
Yeah.
like I I mean, pitchers want the ball all the time.
It's
For them to be
totally.
willing to like share the ball, support each other, knowing that like they're putting their team in a great position to win and make a deep run
Yeah.
is it's special. It's been
I,
fun
th-
to watch.
I think it's a testament to the programs too. Like I think of in Oklahoma,
I
Oklahoma is
agree.
graduating this year. So many
Oh my
unbelievable
lord.
seniors. They've got these great players throughout their, their teams over the last few years that are just rooting for each other. And like what you said,
Yeah.
like with Gottschall being a senior, Pickens coming as a freshman, instead of being like, oh my God, this girl is coming in and like is gonna take my spot. It's like, hey, what's up, girl? Let's do this together because
Yeah.
we can't do it. We can't do what this team's goal is without us and
Right.
without us supporting each other. I think that's a great point that you made.
Yeah. No, for sure.
I
It's
love
yeah.
that.
It's so cool. It's
We
so
can
cool.
share it. Like, what's the quote of like, just because someone else lights a flame doesn't mean it takes away from the light of yours. I don't know, something like that, where it's like we can all have
Yeah.
it. We can all have it.
Yeah.
Let's
We
just
can all
all
have it.
let's just be so supportive and nice.
Yeah. Kumbaya.
And if you don't make the list, it will take time to get over, like 12 years or more. But we can all have
You might be on our list.
it. Hey,
You'll
is
be
that
on
Sam
our
Fisher
list.
I see? I'm just kidding. I do want to mention Jessica Mullins from Texas State.
Thank you. If you
Okay.
didn't, I was, because my
Okay.
lord.
I'm so glad. I love what she's been doing. She's got a great repertoire of pitches to where she can go east west. She can also go up. She's got the off speed.
Mhm.
She's out there. She's throwing. She's getting the big games for Texas State. They
Yeah.
are beating people.
Mhm.
She's been just the backbone of that staff for this whole season. I mean, as long as she's been there, but particularly this season. She's thrown 195 innings for Texas State this
Yes.
year.
And she's
That
probably
is,
gonna have to carry the majority of the load if they're gonna make it
yeah,
out of regionals.
it,
They could host. Like
I
if their
wouldn't be
RPI's right
surprised.
on their RPI's right on the bubble. I'm interested to see, this is a whole different conversation, but like
Mhm.
geographically what the committee is gonna do
Yeah.
with who hosts and who doesn't, because your Texas is 100% going to host. Oklahoma is 100% going to host. Like, do you
Hmm.
throw a Texas State? Does like somebody like Baylor come to Texas State? Like, I don't.
Right.
My lord. Like,
My
can you
lord.
just imagine? And then what if
Yeah.
what if Louisiana gets a regional spot too? Like all of those teams, and then you throw the SEC in there. Like all of those teams in those
Yeah.
like how are they gonna formulate at that? I don't know. But
It'll be
Mullins has
good.
been super duper impressive. I love when senior pitchers have lights out
Yeah.
senior seasons because
God.
so often we see the opposite, right? Like you come in
Mhm.
as a freshman, you're lights out, and then it's so hard to sustain that and have to
Yeah.
reinvent yourself.
Yeah.
So I just like what a testament like to her and what she's doing, and it's really awesome.
I you're
195 innings, my lord, I need to take a leave right now.
195 and she's at almost a strikeout an inning. She's just below it, but she gets about a strikeout an inning. And that
Classic.
the schedule that they've played this year, that's whew,
Look
she's
out for the
striking out big
Bobcats.
hitters.
Look out
Yeah.
for the Bobcats. They
I
might make a
I
little run.
I love it. I love talking about this. I think you made a great point. People talk about the sophomore slump because like you said, you come out as a freshman
Mhm.
and trying to sustain that success that you had as freshmen is really hard when people start to
Mhm.
know you and you start
Yep.
to maybe have expectations, but to carry it through and to have your best year as a senior,
Yeah,
there's
for
something
sure.
so satisfying about that. Just seeing the accumulation of all your hard work, all the things that you've learned, all the experience that you've gained. It's no surprise that a lot of the people that we're talking about are seniors, but it's also really
Yeah.
exciting to know that there's some young ones that are in here that they're like, hey, like notice me immediately, you know?
Yeah. That's gonna yeah. It's cool. It's so cool. It's to your point. Like it's growth of the game. Like the game's
Yeah.
getting bigger, game's
Hmm.
getting better, kids are coming in more talented. Like
Yeah.
it's just the game's in a really good spot, even
Yeah.
compared to when we were playing, which wasn't long ago because we are
No,
young.
like yesterday.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was. Yeah, it was very a short time ago. But
Wow. Gosh, I can't wait to see. Like we're only talking about what we think, but I'm super curious. I
I
think it'll be
know.
really fun to see who makes this list, what the factors are that go into it. There's so many things, man. And
Yeah.
20, that's it. There's so many good players across the
Yeah.
country.
Yeah.
To narrow it
There's
down to
way
25,
yeah.
that's a
There's
tough job.
way more than 25 good players that are
Yeah.
out there. So,
Yeah. And I love to
um,
see I love to see the different schools and conferences represented. These
yeah.
players are, showing up and showing out, and the talent is spreading across the country. I mean, look at the Alabama documentary that came out about the 2012 Natty Champs. Like that was the
Amazing.
first SEC national championship taken
Amazing.
from, usually the schools on the West Coast. Like the
Mhm.
talent was starting to spread, and
Yep.
now you just look at it.
Exactly
Look at
right.
it all over.
That was only 12 years ago.
Only 12 years ago. Never
Insane.
forget watching that rain delay, man.
I will never forget it. I was a senior
Never.
in high school. I just signed my letter of intent.
Oh, that's so cute.
It's the coolest thing. I was at my high school softball coach's living room watching
I
it.
love
Like
that.
so like just so awesome.
I
So
That
awesome.
was the year of my first USA tryout, and I remember we had like a meal. We had like a barbecue or something, and I walk up and
Mhm.
I'm next to Kehlani Ricketts and Jackie Traina, and I was like, "This is awkward."
That's gotta be awkward, right?
Yeah. Hey guys, I'm gonna go sit over there.
And then in typical Kaylani and Jackie fashion, they were probably just like, "Oh, hey,
Whatever.
how's
Hey.
it going? Whatever."
Totally. Oh
Oh
my
my gosh,
gosh.
those 2 are so great.
Man,
Eerily similar.
eerily similar in the
Eerily
best
similar
ways.
in the best ways, yeah. So great.
Well, I mean, we could talk all day. We really could.
We really could, because there's so many good things about the game of softball. I can't wait to break down the list when it comes
Yeah.
out next week with
Yeah.
you. That's gonna
Yeah.
be really exciting.
Yeah.
Maybe we can pick, like, who we think's gonna win. That would be fun.
That would be
Um,
fun.
but there are, quite a few really good matchups this weekend to look forward to.
Yep.
What do you got your eyes on here?
Listen, I think we've got two different in-state rivalries coming up this
Mm,
weekend. We've got Bedlam, right? We've got Oklahoma State
mm.
at OU.
Woo!
And this is going to be the last one of this one because
Sad.
Oklahoma's leaving. So we've got the last Bedlam.
Mm,
I think everybody's going to be Oklahoma State. I think is kind of hitting their stride. So I think like they've played well, but I think that they're getting to where they want to
yeah.
be
Yeah,
approaching May.
the it factor's been missing a little bit from them.
Yes.
Yeah, I
Yes.
agree with
Where
you
it's
there.
like like not being in those dominant conversations. Like they're winning, but they're not in those dominant conversations. So
Right.
I think that this could be a really, I'm really looking forward to that this weekend. And then didn't you say there's a little showdown in the old state of Alabama this weekend?
We got Alabama and Auburn.
Looking forward to it.
Yeah, Alabama does need a little offensive pick me up. It's not going to get any easier for them. Auburn, not ranked, not really playing all that well in SEC play, but
Mhm.
Maddie Penta and Shelby Lowe are still two of the best pitchers in the SEC.
Yeah,
So it's not going to get any easier for Alabama's offense, but I think they might be at a little bit of an advantage here outside of Auburn because the SEC tournament's going to be in Auburn this year
that's
as
right.
well. So they play a 3-game set there, and they'll just stay in Auburn that entire time. So get familiarize yourself with the field, get comfortable, get cozy, get settled in your hotel, let the family
Yeah.
come into town, all that fun stuff. I think it could be an opportunity for them to, just kind of get cozy. And I'm saying that
Point.
really because I just really hope that is what
Just
happens.
manifesting it. It
I am.
sounds like
I'm
a dress
manifesting.
rehearsal. Like it's like a dress
It
rehearsal.
is. It is. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be great. Alabama, I hope will win all 3 games, and I can
Yeah.
report back to you again on this next Monday morning
Yeah.
or whenever we decide to record this.
Hey, listen,
Real.
next week coming up, we're gonna have a guest host. It's gonna be
Oh,
yeah, I mean, we're not gonna tell you who because we're not allowed. But
we are not allowed. We signed.
but
No, I'm just kidding. They didn't make us sign anything, but we actually can't tell you. And
it'll be a surprise.
we know for a fact you guys are going to absolutely love it. There's some really, really exciting stuff that is going on. So
Yeah. And I mean, is there anything else you want to add? This is just our solo show. I
this is
mean,
ours. It's so fun.
we've dropped some good nuggets. Mental health was a great topic today,
Yeah,
as
that's it.
always.
That's it. Go softball. Make sure
Yeah.
you're watching. Continue to watch. Boost the ratings.
Yeah.
Support these young women, and
Yeah.
that's it.
And just go buck wild when you're cheering for your favorite teams. That's all I have to
That's
say.
it. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's it. Do it.
Until we meet again, friends, you know where to find us.
Yeah,
And that's right here.
Yep, we're right here in our libraries and on our sitting at our dining room table. Adios, Bantees. Adios.
Peace out.
Team USA has brought me opportunities that I never thought would happen before, and I'm super humbled to be able to represent my country.
There's so much talent in the United States playing softball right now, and we want to see the game continue to grow and prosper and develop.
I want to develop not just men, but women's softball as well.
I want to see more girls like me playing this sport.
I just hope one day that I could be somewhat mentioned, like a Natasha Watley, to help this game.
I just remember watching everyone in the Olympics, and you guys just representing this country. And for me playing USA softball, I just want to do the same.